Hello, Real Writers. It's Chris, and I'm here with an actual Tarot for Writers reading versus the Oracle for Writers readings that I've been doing, mostly because I could not find a tarot deck that I liked. I had bought several of them on a whim, but when I looked through them, I was less attractive to more cards than more attracted to all the cards. So I can't work with a deck when I feel not attracted to a lot of the cards. I'm sure, I'm sure that's true for a lot of people, so I'm not special in that regard. And I was out with a friend this weekend, and I went into one of those stores. I don't know what we're calling them anymore. New Age sounds kind of, I don't know, like you're making fun of the store. It has too many sort of negative connotations or mocking connotations. So let's just say a spirituality store where they have, the cards and the incense and the oils and the books and everything. And also they had a little section with a bunch of kittens. So that was a nice surprise. And I actually lost my friend to the kitten corner for quite some time. They were very, very cute. Anyway, I found this deck, which I'm absolutely in love with, and I'm really surprised how in love with it I am, because I thought, oh, it's going to turn out like it did before. I'm going to open the deck and I'm not going to like the cards. And that's not true. This deck, I think, came out last year. It was funded in 2016 on Kickstarter, and maybe it came out last year or this year. I didn't check. It's the Ethereal Visions. Oh, I don't want to mess up my Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot Card Deck by Hughes. And it has a Art Nouveau look. You'll see. It has this lovely gold foil. So all the cards have this. And if you remember those, well, you won't remember, but if you've ever seen, because you not all of you would be of that age, but there used to be these old cigarette ads in the 20s, I think, or something like that, and the women looked like this, and they had this kind of hair, and the hair would be swirling around like smoke, and all the women kind of look like this in the deck. Anyway, I don't know why I'm so attracted to it. I guess it doesn't really matter. But I also love the backs here. Purple is my favorite color in any shade, really. And there are these beautiful leaves and green, and that's kind of everything I need, like a suggestion of nature and some purple, and I'm good to go. So I've been working with this deck all weekend for the last 3 days or so. It's a holiday weekend in the US, 4th of July. Or I've turned it into a holiday weekend because the 4th of July was a Wednesday, so I'm kind of stretching it, but I made it work. And I've been doing readings for people on my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, because as a writer, I know a ton of writers, and so they've been asking me questions, and I've been pulling one card for them, and it's been really fun. So I thought I would do a reading, an actual Tarot for Writers reading, since that's what the channel's called. And I pulled 3 cards today, and they're all fantastic. It's really exciting. It's a great start to doing a reading for this channel. So I have put the ubiquitous stones in front of them. That's what everyone's doing now. But it is an easy way to be attracted to a card. You can also choose a card by number. You can choose a card by the stone. You can also just watch the whole thing and then determine which card you're most attracted to, and it may be all of them. So starting on the left, the stone is yellow jasper. I'll bring it forward so you can see it. I bought all of these stones in the same shop. And this one is Amazonite. It looks very blue here, but it has a bluish green tint. Maybe a marine blue kind of color. And this is citrine. So pick 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. Or again, just watch the whole thing. So I'm going to move this over a little bit. The first card is Temperance. And when I originally pulled this card, it was upside down. It was reversed. But just look at this card. glittery and beautiful. And there are male figures in this card. It's not all female. What I also love about the foil is that when you're looking at the card, you can see yourself in it, which is a neat trick. Depending on how much gold foil there is, you can see your reflection or parts of your reflection in the card, which is a really good idea to help you connect. So, temperance reversed means, well, normally temperance is about balance, harmony, and purpose with moderation. Okay, those are the basics of temperance. So reversed, as you would imagine, it means something is out of balance. You may be acting impatiently, or again, this is about your writing, so you may be acting impatiently, whether that's writing something when you're not really ready, rushing through a revision without taking your time, or you're refusing the best approach to your writing that's being offered to you by an editor or your critique group or your beta readers, or if you're in a class, the other members of your workshop, or if you're working with an editor, that person. So the message here is that hasty action will lead to more imbalance. So hold up there, slow down, take a breath. I know sometimes we want to plow through something, but sometimes we also need to take our time. It also may mean you lack long-term vision for your creative life or your project. So you need to reflect on the changes that are necessary to bring that into balance. So you may be trying to write while you have a challenging job, or your family's taking up a lot of your time, or whatever. Or you may be just writing by the seat of your pants, being a pantser, and it might behoove you to spend some time plotting out a little bit at a time to give you some direction, so you're not zooming off in too many directions that in the end are going to make your book kind of chaotic and make your revisions difficult. This can also mean conflict with people, so maybe you're in conflict with a member of your critique group, or an agent or an editor or a publisher you're working with, and you need to clear the air and get back into the flow and establish new ground rules with this person or these people. Because this is a card of competition and frustration. So the advice here is to step back, be patient, re-examine your priorities. There's always a grain of truth to what others say. What is that grain? And can you open your mind and heart to reestablish flow? Temperance also guides life's purpose. So I asked what life's purpose is, and that's how I got the other two cards. But I guess what I want to add is, if this card resonates as your book or poem or whatever isn't working, then my suggestion is to let go of the vision you're clinging to for 1 hour. 1 hour, that's it. The world will not fall apart in 1 hour. You will not be betraying your book or your project by doing this. Take a break for 1 hour and free write on what out-of-the-box changes you could make, small to large to crazy, and see what comes up and what might actually be a good shift. You can also take the thing that is being suggested to you by the agent, the editor, the critique group person, the teacher of your workshop, whatever. The thing you hate the most that they're suggesting, the thing that you absolutely swear you will never do. I'm not going to pound my fist on the table here, but imagine I'm doing that. By God, I'll never do that, right? Okay, so pick that thing and free write on that for 1 hour as if you're going to do it. I always tell this to my editing clients: pick the thing you hate the most and free write on it. Write a scene using this idea, do exactly what someone is saying you should do and see what happens. And although they hate it, they're often surprised that it kind of works and it solves their problem, or it becomes something they're very excited about, or it leads them to the thing that will work. So that's my suggestion, to try that. Like I said, temperance guides us to life's purpose. And And that's how I got the two next cards. So if you're not watching the whole thing, thanks. Temperance reversed is your card. Try to bring yourself back into balance and harmony and flow. I'll leave it up though, because if you're all watching the next one, which I hope you are, because there's always a little story here. The second card that came with the Amazonite is the Fool. And the Fool is the 0 card. And the major arcana is the story of the Fool. The Fool is always present through the entire major arcana. It's the story of the Fool's journey, and it's the card 0. And so it is the card of unlimited potential. And so here he is, perched on a cliff, ready to leap. And he's got this umbrella, and the umbrella is full of the sky and the stars. So feet on the ground, but reaching for the stars, so to speak. I feel like somebody said that. Like, I don't know, I want to say Casey Kasem, if anyone remembers Casey Kasem on the radio and when he would do his top 40 countdowns on the weekends. I don't know why that's popping into my head. But anyway, he's got a little satchel that has everything he needs. He's got a little white dog. That's the guardian. But the guardian, it almost looks like the dog is ready to push him if he doesn't jump. And that's sort of what a guardian does. A guardian protects you, but also pushes you, as a mentor would. So he's about to start the journey, and that umbrella is going to help him land on his feet. This is a card of new beginnings, of creativity, of accomplishing new goals. Like I said, it's unlimited potential, so anything can happen. You're being asked to take a leap of faith and trust the universe. That said, don't push too hard to know or force what lies ahead. Be open. If you're facing a decision, you should follow your heart, no matter how crazy or foolish, hence the Fool card, that idea seems. If you are literally just starting a writing project, whether it's a book or you're getting back to poetry or you've written a bunch of whatever, short stories, poems, and you're now going to start going through them and revising them and seeing what's what before you send them out, or you're starting to send them out, welcome to the adventure. You need to believe in yourself and have faith in where you're being led. So, I can't stress this too much, and this is something I also say to my editing clients. Have your vision, but don't hold so tight to it that you can't see anything else, because your vision when you're starting the book is going to evolve. It's going to be different after the first chapter probably, or the first 50 pages, or the first 100, or halfway through, and definitely near the end. When you put it away for a while, or any project, I'm using a book, but this could be writing a story or a poem or a song or a play, whatever it is. You put it away for a while and let it sit so that you're not too close to it, and you can come back with some objectivity. And it's going to look totally different then, and you're going to see what you need to change, and you're still going to not know how to fix certain things, but it will come to you. So you have to allow for your vision to evolve. If you're afraid, you need to tap into the courage of the Fool here, his wonder, his curiosity, his awe, and you need to take a chance. Take a leap of faith. That's the message of the Fool. So, pardon me, I need to move this box here. Thank you for watching. If you picked the second card, I hope you'll stay and see how the whole thing plays out. The third card is the Magician. As you would expect, the Magician means power and skill and action, but also focus and concentration. It is also a card of the beginnings. It's a number 1 card. And the Magician takes the power of the universe and directs it through him. And you'll see that this card shows all of the suits of the tarot. I'm going to use my purple pen. Of course, my pen is purple. The cups, the wands, the swords, the pentacles, which represent the 4 elements, earth, air, fire, and water. And those correspond to air is the mind, water is the heart, fire is the soul or the spirit, and earth is the body. So this card means you have the creative ability and energy to create a new life as a writer, or maybe this is referring to your writing project. You have the ability to create this new thing that you want to create and to manifest your desires. But you must apply skill and initiative. You don't just, I'm not saying, hey, go out there, you're already a best-selling author. No, there are too many variables for that. But you do have everything you need to make that happen. So you need to apply skill and initiative. That means take a writing class, maybe in person or online. Take more than one, okay? Because I'm sorry, y'all. You know, I've said this before, writing is a practice. You can't take one class and then boom, you're a fantastic writer. Some people have an innate natural talent, and awesome for them. Actually, I don't know, I kind of hate those people. I love you all, but I kind of am jealous of you too, because I have a little bit of that, maybe half and half. But that's been hard won. And I know that you all out there know what I'm talking about. It's just, it can be a challenge to be happy for someone who's brilliant at something else like music or math or whatever, and then they turn around and write a best-selling novel and you're like, okay, so that's my whole life and you're just doing it as a hobby and now you've written a best-selling book. Yeah, I'm so happy for you. Look, we're human, right? I am happy for people, but it is frustrating when that happens because I'm not good at math and I can't play anything. So anywho, away from my shadows, let's get back to the magician. So take a class in person or online, read books on writing, watch videos, pull together a group of writers. You know, you can critique each other's work, or you can just get together and write. You know, you don't have to make it a critique group. You can just get a group together to write. You can work with an editor when you're ready, like me. That's what we're here for. Everybody needs an editor. Anyone who tells you you don't doesn't know what they're talking about. You can edit your own work, but you will not get it to the point that a real editor would. And I don't mean a ghostwriter. We don't write books for you. You can hire someone to do that, but it's tens of thousands of dollars. So save up if that's what you want to do. But please, if you're going to do that, please do participate. A real writer is not someone who pays someone else to write their book. Okay, you need to participate in that creative process. Like really participate in that creative process. So an editor is someone who's going to take your book and show you the strengths and weaknesses, the book you actually wrote versus the one you wanted to write. That often happens, and how you can get back to either the one you wanted to write or to move forward with the one you actually wrote. They will give you, good editors, and this is something I strive to do, try to make you both a better writer and a better editor so that you walk away with a lot of tools to help you with your next, not just this project, but your next project. So everybody needs an editor. Use whatever tools and resources are available. And there's a lot online and in books. So you can, and look at your local community college. They often have writing classes. Look for your state writing association. They will often have something on their website that directs you to writing classes in the community, or that they are offering. I'm trying to think of where else. Look for your arts nonprofits, especially the literary arts ones, of course, but arts nonprofits that are sort of all different types of disciplines, or rec centers or libraries. They often will have people offering writing classes. What else do I want to say about this? You also need to focus on your writing goal. So you need to make regular time for it and concentrate on what you want to achieve. You need to channel your energy toward this goal. That does not mean you need to write every day. I think I'm going to end up saying this in every video. You don't need to write every day. I'm sorry, whatever people out there selling that 500, 1,500, 1,000, you have to write every day, butt in the chair. Yeah, sure. Yes, butt in the chair is important. But picking the discipline, the practice of discipline that is best for you is what's going to work. If you can't write every day, or you can't make 500 words every day, you're just going to end up feeling frustrated and like a failure because you can't, and then you're not going to write. You could drive yourself to do that, and you could also really hate it, and then you'll stop writing. So don't take what someone else is doing. Try different things, but choose the process that's best for you. For a long time, I was writing only on the weekends and only 2 weekends a month, and I would plow through anywhere from 20 to 30 pages. So, and that really worked for me. There's a great book called The Weekend Novelist that I recommend. There are 2 versions. I have both. There's also The Weekend Novelist for revision. So that, I think, came out in the last few years. I have that book too. So you can write on the weekends. You could pick 1 weekend a month, go to the library Saturday and Sunday, go to a family member's house or a friend's house or wherever, somewhere quiet, get a hotel room if you can afford it, and write. And that's it. That's your practice. What I'm saying is just pick the practice and stick to it. Whatever it is, stick to it. Be realistic and pragmatic, feet on the ground, but reaching for the stars again. This card is a really, really good omen for writers. And they're all major arcana, which is amazing to me. I don't ever get that when I pull cards. So last thought, if you watch the whole thing, which I hope you did, here's a little writing prompt here. So which card represents a character that you need in your project if you're writing prose? And this can also be if you're writing creative nonfiction, like a memoir or something. Which card? Because I'm sorry, creative nonfiction, there is no such thing as nonfiction unless you're writing a biography or journalism or something. If you're taking something true and working creatively on it and shaping it into a story, you're technically making it fiction. So which card represents a character you need in your project, or a persona a character in your project can take on who can resolve or disrupt the story? I don't mean literally, but allegorically. I don't mean literally bring someone in who's a magician, although, I'm sorry, I take that back. You could do that if you wanted. A magician in terms of fantasy, yes, or someone who is a magician for a profession if you're not writing fantasy. Or someone who acts like a fool, or someone who's always seems to have their act together and is always living in harmony and is always the peacemaker, the person everyone goes to for advice. That would be Temperance. Or, if you're writing real life events or you want to journal on this, which card reminds you of someone in your life or a persona you need to take on? Maybe write a poem or story or a song or a scene about that. Or a letter to that person if that person has helped you in a big way or, again, disrupted your life, created drama in your life. You can always write a letter as well. Just a note, it's a new moon on July 12th if you're in the US. It's a partial solar eclipse in Cancer, and this represents new beginnings and transformation. It means claim your power. It is the perfect time to begin a project, whether it's starting something new or going back to something you've written before and go back to revising it, or starting to send things out again. This is the perfect time. I think it's like 10:40 something p.m. on the East Coast, which is where I am. So July 12th, new moon, claim your power. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, maybe ask some questions in the comments about what kind of general readings you'd like to see on this channel as I'm building the channel. If you want a reading of your own for yourself or your book or a character or a poem or, well, I don't want to do a reading on an agent or an editor because I can't do a reading on, no one should do a reading on someone without their permission. So I won't do those to see how an editor and agent feels about your book. I can do one on your book itself. I can do that. So please get in touch. You can email me at therealwriter@gmail.com and I will get right back to you. And I'm super excited about doing these. I've been having lots of fun doing them on Facebook with my friends who are pretty much all writers. So I'm primed and ready to go. If you're in the US, I hope you had a great holiday. Thanks for watching and happy writing.